Well, a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the LPGA Tour of Korea as we get set for round number two of the Dongbu Construction KOREIT Championship, the 26th event of the season, and we are playing some Stableford golf. If you did not join us yesterday, I will refresh you on how things all work. We have plenty of time over the course of the next 2.5 to 3 hours. We will jostle for positions and try and get a clearer picture of how things are shaking up in towards moving day tomorrow. We have 108 players in the field. These three were your leaders by the end of rounds number one, and for the most part, not a ton of changes drastically at the top of the leaderboard. Just another absolutely brilliant day at the Sun Country Club. 21 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. The wind has been behaving. It seems to be the case that it will continue to do so today, and really it will be settled out on course. We will begin on 12. This is Isomi. She's on 14 points. This a look for birdie. The birdie would get her to 16. An addition of 2 points, just inside of 9 meters. So close. Might have just grazed that inside left, but would not get enough of it to drop. So your refresher, or your lesson in Stableford golf. Basically, what it means is the ambition, the aim is the same. That is to go as low as possible, birdies, eagles, you name it. But the point scoring system is slightly different. More rewards for birdies, big rewards for eagles, and not quite as much of a drop should you go double bogey or beyond. You see Kim Soo-ji, that is her 7th of the day. That is 8 points she picked up on the way out. So far, 8 points on the way in, and that is massive considering the fact that she was just +3 yesterday and nowhere near contention. She is definitely on the charge. Now to 10, the low amateur, An Yeonju. Picked up 3 so far today, and there will be no swing on this 12th. She was +9 in round one. She's only been able to pick up 3 at the turn. Bung Seung-hee teeing off on 13. A little bit of trepidation as she watches that fall. The pin today at the back left of this par 3. She rolls onto the fringe. Now Hong Jung-min trying to stay at 14 points at the moment. That is tied for 11th, 5 back of the leader. Marginal break here, well weighted, good par save. So the albatross, the double eagle, is worth +8. The eagle is +5. Birdies are worth 2 points. Pars, you just carry your score over to the next. Bogey -1, and a double bogey or higher is -3 points. Sung Eugene, another one of those quieter days today relative to her +11 by the end of the round on Thursday. From the fairway, decent contact and a great result. Be about a 5-footer for a birdie. The birdies have been a bit hard for her to come by today. Only 2 and 5, otherwise all pars. Bit of a lineup on the 10th tee. We'll get some more groups out, including the one that occupies Lee Ga-young. She is our leader by 1, +11 in round 1. Picked up 8 points on the front 9 as well, with 4 birdies in her final 5 holes, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Another great rip and will roll well beyond her group mate. She should just be able to stay in that rolling fairway towards the right side. Swing on is next. And a difficult start to the day, to put it mildly. Was at 11 points by day's end yesterday. She's dropped 2 today for a much stronger second 9. She had a blow up on the third that cost her 3 points, bogeyed the fourth. Only birdie came at the second. She might be the longest of the trio. Everyone down towards that right side and away. Naomi Jung. Only 53 meters and needs to be very short. Pulls the highest lofted wedge out of her bag, and those are 3 great approach shots. All within about a 5-meter radius of the hole. Pungsungi, not a bad effort. So we go to 14. Jun Young, dead center of this fairway, nicely around the tree. It's a 90-meter pitch. Up she goes. Stays close. Now I have questions. Put the ball in, it says for rebirth. I imagine that is some very fancy ball washing, if not Brent. No, it's got to be ball washing. I think we found a malfunction with the machine. And you can sign them. Don't need all of them, you know. Toss them up for a souvenir into the crowd. It's a good way to wait, engage with the supporters. And Kim Soo-ji, she, by virtue of having such a slow start to yesterday, teed off on the 10th hole, deep in the groups this week. It was an 8:30 a.m. tee time, only at 3 points. That was narrowly inside what would be the cut line today, but a much different story in round 2. Comes up short on that tee shot, though. Something else you'll notice if you weren't with us for round 1 and weren't able to tune into any of the action here last year, this is a course with the 2-green system. It is exactly what it sounds like. All holes, every hole rather, but one has either a left or a right green that is designated for the week. Often that has to do with different types of grass that are grown, makes it playable longer in different conditions, climates, etc. First effort from Imi Jung is slightly offline. Two-green system definitely very popular in Japan. Curls away, and she wants the flag out before she taps in. Jun Young, it is still pickup of 5 today. Few holes to go, and she is tied for 21st. Right now, it's going to require at least 7 points to be involved this weekend. Isomi is ready at 13 with a 6-iron. Bounces twice and gets a decent roll back towards that left located pin. Sung Eugene. The left to right starts early, and it is slightly under hit as well. Needed a bit more speed if she was going to get through that break. Settles for par. Shows you how much havoc the pin placement today is having at 10, despite those being very and relatively close approach shots. 0 for 2 so far. Birdie. Hong Jung-min bogeyed here yesterday. She's next to play the par 3. Pounds off the back and settles on the fringe. It was +8 for her yesterday. She's picked up 6 through 12 holes. Down in a tie for 12th, just off the front page of the leaderboard. It is Lee Ga-young from Imjini, Kim Hee-ji, Park Young-kyung, those three at +18. Kim Soo-ji, EA1, the rookie, at +17, though two very different stages of their rounds. Pang Seung-hee down in sole possession of 7th at 16 points, and then a 5-way tie for 8th at 15 points. Welcome back. We have more groups ready to be released here at the 10th. EA1, first to go with the driver. It is the penultimate group to get going at the 10th. EA1 and ENG, the highest scorers on the day. Took me a second to wrap my brain around that. You want to be the high scorers in Stableford. The putt hail up from the fringe. No dice from back there. Shouldn't be back-to-back bogeys, but it won't be low. ENG birdie here yesterday. There weren't many holes where she didn't birdie, to be fair. And her birdie at 10 was the first of 5 in a 6-hole span. The West Course was very, very kind to her. She was dazzling, especially with her wedge play. He got young, middle of this fairway. Smooth swing right through and not even 4 feet to go. Now Kim Soo-ji, she came well short on the tee. The way her wrists are pointed, I can't imagine this will be high lofted. More of a bump and run up. Nice touch. Coach Yu. Also at 10, she will be the only one of the trio to not reach the green. Isomi looking for a birdie to get to 16. Looks good. Tremendous putt. This will be a rather significant left to right. It is uphill and it sucks the speed up right away. With the excitement of some very nice shots being made on another hole. EA1 has that as her backdrop. Uneventful as you might expect with the second shot.
박현공 프로 지나갔나요? 네? 박현공 프로 안 지나갔어요?
Coach Yu is ready and doesn't escape the fringe. Wanted one bounce just before the green to slow it up. far too much under hit. She'll go just in front of EA1. She and Yunji going shot for shot there at the 10th. And now, close enough. The coach Yu says putter will be fine here. That one hardly wants to move whatsoever. That stays straight all the way through. This gets up, but from a rather substantial margin still to go. And Young, oh, that's offline as well. So it was an opportunity to increase her lead to 3, but it is offline, and the past few holes, the birdies have been hard to come by. Imjini, Kim Hee-ji, Park Young, that group stuck waiting on 10. They will be the next to tee off in just a few minutes. And now the approach for EA1. Gets it within a couple of feet. Caroms to the left, stays on the green, however. Decent little spot. Oh, so close as it grazes the inside. It's definitely closer. But closer isn't helping her gain any points.
아니면 더 들어가도 돼요. 아니 그냥 내 라이에서 넘어서 아 어디? 아 여기서 일로 와서 여기만 피해서 돌려서 알면
So she'll have her tap in. It is just 4 points still that she's been able to pick up today. Now Jeannie's turn. Oh, that's the perfect spot to land it in the fringe. Surely she or EA1 will have a birdie from there, if not both. So go to 11 with Jun Yunji to close the gap to 2. Pulled it. Yeah, tap in par as well. Second hole of this back 9. Well, this is a good sign. At long last, the green light for the featured and final group. Kimi G, the first 2 tee off. Be a good opportunity for you, the viewer, and me, the announcer, to see more of her. She did so much fantastic work yesterday, but was just wrapping up as we began our broadcast, so we missed her 3 birdies, excuse me, and 3 eagles on the back 9. Still have that backwards. Pardon me. 3 birdies and 2 eagles. That is the up from Isomi. Haven't seen many go to the left on this 10th. It's just going to hang on to the fairway. Narrowly missing the target zone here at 9 for Kim Soo-ji. Looking to be middle right. She goes back right and is all the way off. Yunji, the first of 2, looks at birdie. That's a very narrow margin of error she left herself. Will anyone be able to solve 10? The hopes are down to EA1. Yigayong, this is a 9-iron at the 11th. Gets herself about pin high and a generous return towards the middle. All right, the pressure's on. EA1. This is a chance to move into a tie for the lead. Shouldn't be surprised. It's been that difficult today. Bump and run from off the green. This is Kim Soo-ji trying to get it as close as she can down the hill. This is the turnaround par effort. So she will have to wait until at least the 11th to go back for the lead. We'll roll down all the way to the border of the green onto the fringe. And now Isomi, this is a lengthy look for birdie at the 14th. This is starting back just a little bit late on the break. Settles for a par as well. She has 4 holes to go and remains 3 strokes back, 3 points back of the lead. And now Kim Soo-ji preparing to end her Friday in a much, much better place than she was able to do yesterday. As I said, she was in danger of even missing the cut. She's up 53 positions, bested only by Pei So-yeon. A bogey-free round. Birdies at 1, 2, 4, 7, 10, 11, and 17. And she, yes, has her final par of the day. Well, that is much more akin to the Kim Soo-ji we saw in late September. Winning tournaments in her sleep, it seemed. And she's in the hunt for another. With a strong finish. This is the lay of the land at 10 from a bit of a slice in towards the tree line that prevented a little bit of extra distance on the second shot. We find Kimi G, 67% are her greens in regulation. She will have plenty of time to try and reel in this one-shot deficit. She'll just be able to roll through onto the green. Now Im Hee-jung, 117 meters out on her approach. She too, like a magnet to the front of the green. Be a down and up putt. Won't be the most straightforward. Now Park Young-kyung from the rough, gets great contact on it. I'm not going to say the B word, but that is a very good position to be. Fantastic shot from the second cut. Should be able to go low. Now Coach Yu starting this down from the fringe. It's going to go uphill and lose a ton of speed. About 1.5 feet, 2 feet still to go. Comes up a bit short. Si Gae-young, knowing she has the field hot on her heels, she is able to take advantage of a great setup shot at 11 and find her 5th birdie of the day. The first person to reach the 20s. As a measuring stick. Last year, this tournament in its first edition was won with a 51 as the final score, as Lee Jung-min picked up 19 points in the final round. Now Kim Hee-ji did a great job to sort out the swoop. It is going to take the slightest little tap. Still just one birdie on the day. That was at the second hole. Oh, Coach Hughes pushed it. Broke away almost instantaneously. It's a minor mistake, but it's a mistake that costs her another point. Back-to-back bogeys now. And Sung Eugene. First of two chips in almost an identical location. Starting back to the right. Well weighted too. Good effort from off the green. Well, on 9, there is just one bona fide and high probability look at birdie. The other two are towards the left edge. As we return to 10, Park Young-kyung, just a little tap, and the curse is finally lifted. It's not for the outright lead, as we just saw that advance to 21, but it keeps her within one, and it's a good start to the back 9 after a bit of a lengthy delay. And surely one of her more difficult birdie putts of the day. Downhill right away, fading over. Inches away from its left the hole. To the 9th, wrapping up the round. Bae So-hyun, it's been a fantastic Friday. Can she add one final birdie? No, she cannot. It's pulled. So 2 putts for the par, but look at this scorecard today, especially that back 9. 8 birdies, just a 1 bogey at 13. She has brought herself out from the fringes to somebody to pay a close eye to this weekend. Oh, that's well weighted. Tremendously online as well for So-jin. Doubling up her point total from the day as she is now at +4 on this Friday. And this is going to reach. So great effort from Jung Se-bin. Not quite the level of Kim Si-hyun, but hey, 6 birdies is still a good day at the office. TA1. She knows the opportunity that passed her by at the last, and she's gone right back flag hunting. My goodness. It's that remarkable little move back towards the middle at the end for an underscore on it. Now Jun Yunji to stay at 15 points. It's about 4 feet, not much movement to it. Well, this is certainly not ideal. Off the 11th tee, deep into the forest. Slice costing ENG. There's no doubt that if there's an area of her game still to be polished heading into the weekend, it is driver. I'm just trying to find the safest way to get back to the fairway. Will cost her a look at birdie, but she is back in the clear. Highlight of that Titleist golf bag certainly has been her collection of wedges. That's where she's done most of her brilliance, at least yesterday. She's in between a couple. She gets both and will decide while she waits. It was a quick decision. Everyone patiently waiting as it is still ENG who is away. This is how she set up her birdie yesterday. Doesn't quite get enough carry over the fringe. Loses the rest of the speed on it. Driver is out for Park Young-kyung. Ripped and nicely into the fairway. She's looking for not quite a bounce back hole, but something with a little bit more domination to it. It's a good start. Bong Seung-hee. It's about 4 feet away. And Lee Ga-young off of her birdie. She's got the pitching wedge out, trying to set up another. Gravity will help her out a good deal here. It's a really good chance of making it 2 for 2. To the par 3, Jun Yunji, 6 iron. That is well off and into the grass bunker. She might be hoping there's a sprinkler head of some kind in there to get her some relief, but that is well off. It's nicely played on the 9th and final hole of the day. It's a good setup, and I believe we also have Lee Jung-min there, and unfortunately she will be exiting this tournament. It will mean there will be a new champion, but the struggles in 2022 have continued. Bong Seung-hee, this should be a little left to right. Downhill as well. Wasn't a ton of break, but she didn't give herself enough breathing room to the inside of that hole. It'll cost her a point. Points is the score at the end of another. A little bit of some frustrated, bordering on resigned body language. She hands that putter off to her caddy. It's only 2.7 for Lee Ga-young. This will definitely drop to our right pretty quick. One goes the other way. We were on the same thought process as our leader. And the movement was the opposite, and it means she will stay at 21, and that will open the door for Park Hyung-kyung. Before that birdie putt can be played, this is Im-jini trying to save a par. Woof. Was going to go with a little bit more speed. And it is a drop. Well, pops it back up as it reaches the fringe. If it wanted to be kind to Isomi, it would have popped her right up and into a good spot on the green. She could still probably putt from there. Now Ye won at 11. First of 2 par 4s in a row to open this back 9. Right on line, and this time she is able to take advantage of a great approach shot. 19 points now with that birdie made. Jun, she is deep in this rough. Lifts it up, uses the fringe to slow it down. Should be a simple layup from there. By that I mean a simple par finish. Brilliant. The fans have been waiting to see a true title push from Pak Young for quite some time. Their patience is being rewarded. She's off to a brilliant start to this tournament. It's carrying over into this Friday. Puts the pressure on Kim Yunji to try and go with her. It's a 9-iron. Looks pretty good. Just a little bit short, but she is online. It's a pitching wedge on the final par 3 of the day for Bang Seung-hee. Lee So-mi did elect to go for a very high lofted wedge. Just brushing it across. She will need the putter after all for a simple tap in. Kim Jae-hee, 2.3 meters, and no, that is crushed. Far too much pace on it. It's a great birdie. Bit of a lull, 4 holes in between, but she finally has her third of the day. Kim Jae-hee is finished out with a 32 and with a 33. That is a 14-point pickup on Friday. Lovely round that I look forward to seeing more of tomorrow if she can keep that shot making down. Ooh, all the way around and stays out. Kim Yunji. Not going to happen.
마크 했잖아.
그냥 원했어.
아니, 마크 했잖아.
마크 안 해. 그냥
여기서 마크 안 하면 자연스러운 거지.
마크 안 하면 거기서
공식이 그대로 쳐야 돼. 마크 했을 때 원했어. 잘하는데.
A slow run continues. Unfortunately for Kim Hee-ji, she has that short putt that she would much rather have not needed to make. This immediately launches away. Took off to the right. And Sung Eugene, this is her bogey as well. And the up from EA1 again kicks off as if she decided how to do it herself. She is just out here attacking flags. Looks like somebody has a remote control on that ball. Yeah, let's just straighten out, slow down. This is good. Just a sampling of some of the golf she's played in 2022. She is no longer just a superstar of tomorrow. She is a superstar of today on this tour. Many a parallels to Park Hyun-kyung from just a few years ago. Back-to-back birdies, 22 points. And back on top of the field. At least for now, she's starting to take EA1 by the hand, and those two are just charging up the leaderboard like Im Jini had done yesterday. And the difference between today and round one is that that approach shot would have been within maybe 4 feet at most. All of a sudden finds herself chasing again. 6-iron on the par 3 for Lee Ga-young. Lands with a thud, stops up on the fringe. She still will have the option to putt. This is number 12. Third hole on the West Course, 349 meters, 382 yards. Dog leg to the left with the big lonely tree in the middle of the fairway just to make things that much more interesting. 195 meters from the tee is where we find the end of that bunker. So one more and a massive pot bunker separating the two greens. Another one off to the right. If you are there, you're in a whole heap of trouble. And it is the right green that we are playing this week. And the pin placement in this second round is about middle right. You can be pin high. You'll get a little bit of a push back towards it. Not nearly as tricky it is playing as 10 certainly has been. Young loses the handle a little bit on the follow through. Does that alter her that much? Perhaps. Other side of the fairway and down the slope. Well, she is our new leader. The narrowest of margins, +7. Not the best day. That certainly belongs to Pae So-hyun, but it is still a very good one. She and EA1 identical scores through the same number of holes. It's going to be a 3-person push all the way in as we wrap up our first hour of round number 2. This is the 2022 Dongbu Construction KOREIT Championship. We'll be back to Iksan right after this. These are the updated LF Hazzy's point standings entering this 26th event of the season. Yuhei ran with still her dominant lead, though it is starting to shrink, with Kim Soo-ji taking chomp after chomp out of that deficit. How she has performed the past few weeks. Park Ji-young is third. Peng Min-ji up 2 spots. She is off this week. Some rest after winning the major. Chi Han-sol and EA1 both dropping a position to 5th and 6th. Lee So-mi and Imi Jung are at the top 8. It's good eyes from that Marshall who spotted it, heard it roll down. Could have been really treacherous for Imi Jung, but it'll sit out just to the right of the cart path. No penalty, and should be able to just simply lay up from there. Here's Lee So-mi playing pitching wedge at the par 3. Lands it shallow and scoots over to the left. It's about pin high, but still double digits in terms of meters remaining. EA1 with the simplest of tap-ins. She joins. Lee Ga-young just one back. Park Young now. Feeling we'll see that approach shot in the round highlights in about 90 minutes time. And now it is indeed putting from the fringe, but it jolts over in a hurry. A little chip, 10 meters out for Imjini. Weight-wise, it was there. Slightly misaligned to the inside. Settling for a par at number 12, Imjini, 5 back now, which is 1 point more than she's been able to collect today. Has her par. It's 151 meters to go. 6 iron is the club of choice for our leader. She gets a bit of a kick back online, but that's absolutely crushed from the rough. Deeper than she would have wanted. Kimi G, 73% greens in regulation. She has another, slightly deeper than pin high, but definitely not online. That's more like it. Haven't seen many of those shots the past 45 minutes or so for Sung Yoo Jin, but it is of her best efforts total. It's going to be up to the conversion on the birdie, of course, but can only take it one shot at a time. That is how Park Yang wanted to play that shot. Jun Yunji, welcome back. It was her eagle at 17 that pushed her all the way towards the top of the leaderboard. She has certainly cooled off today. In fact, she has dropped a point, down 12 spots. So we go back to the 16th. Slightly short for Isomi. Its time on the green is short-lived as it rolls all the way to the back. It's been what's missing in her game through a round and a half are those minute approach shots like we've seen from EA1. She is also going with a 6 on 13. She birdied here yesterday. It's pretty good. Not her best, but something to work with as we go back to 12. Long downhill putt. She stands up and needs it to tail back left. It does, just not quite in time. Six iron frame Genie. She's gesturing slightly to the left. That would be why she wanted it to go that way. She is the furthest out of the bunch. This is the long way back. It's going to stay right. Brilliant effort from off the green, however. It's another one that she's let slip by her. Say she's in the peloton as opposed to the true contender pack. This just does not hang on. She drops her shoulders in frustration. Just remarked that it's been a while since we've seen that approach inside of 5 or 6 feet. Can't capitalize upon it, Sung Yujin. Well, she's back to what would be even. I mean, she's even better than that 1 under. Again, there's that Stableford trick. So she's actually what would be 1 under. What I'm saying is she's now picked up a cumulative point for the day. Now Genie. Long way to go. And still a downhill putt. Tells you how much she was misaligned. She still had a pretty significant backswing. Seung-yi. It's about, call it 5 feet. Now EA1. This will be one of her most impressive birdies of the day. She can take the lead here. Just a bit inside. Young from well in the rough. Blinded a bit by the sun as she tries to keep an eye on it. It'll be a 2-putt par for EA1 on 13. Remains 1 back. So we take a look at 13 now. 143 meters makes it the second shortest par 3 on course. The long one's definitely on the front 9. It actually goes in reverse order from longest to shortest. There is, of course, the bunker on the left, bunker in the middle, and more sand at the back. The pin today, it is 9 yards from the back of the green and 5 yards from its left when you're entering from the fairway. That's why it looks a little askew with that icon. She has not been able to pick up any points whatsoever on par 3s so far in this event. She might just be able to rewrite that now. Absolutely dialed in. That's how it looked like from the back of the green all the way through. Just pops it up, takes a lot of the extra bite off of it, rolls nice and close. Now give me a G. Not quite as dazzling. It's still effective. Now Bong Seung-yi, yes, just. Her first birdie since the 12th, her third of the back 9, 6th of the day. Yeah, one settling in. She went for a little bit more. Does it cost her? It certainly does. It's a kind drop from the canopy. Tell the way she was rocking on the hips. just sped things up a little bit on that swing, was trying to be a bit greedy with the distance. After Ige Young lets an opportunity fall by the wayside. We see what should have been done by EA1, and that is Imjini shaping that very, very nicely around the fairway. Heading back towards the left. Started it inside and stayed inside. Well, that is very, very different to what she had done yesterday. Every single hole but the second has been parred. Just the one birdie. Now this approach takes a divot about 3 feet away, and it stops a foot further. Isomi should finally have a long-awaited birdie. There's the smile. Well, from when we stepped aside a short while ago, nothing has changed. Kim Soo-ji, Pei So-yeon, they're both in. Kim Yi-ji is 4 back, but only the one birdie on the day. Im Jini's second page of that leaderboard at +4 for the day. No Seung-yi, good round as well, 9 points collected. Pong Seung-yi's on 18. Isomi and Ijumi both with just 1 hole to go. Young extending the lead. EA1, she got a bit of a gift from the golfing gods with the canopy, dropping it down and avoiding a trek on the other side of the cart path. But with it, she's not able to get up to the green. There's the tap in, up to 18 points she goes. Have to spend a little bit of time on that divot. 3 holes in between. 4 back now with just 1 hole to play. She has improved upon her score yesterday when she had just managed 8 points. And Ginny would like a little bit of that success in the home stretch here. From the fairway, and again, this time she's saying right, gesturing right. So pretty good spot relative to her group mates. Pin high, but on the wrong side of the green. She needed front left. She finished front right. And as Buckingham tees off here, she does so with a 3-shot advantage. Still needs to pick up 3 birdies on the way in to match what she had done yesterday.
Oh, 열린다.
Couldn't ask for better. Just avoids that rough to the outside, going over top of the tall grass. You see another one that goes left that only just avoids the sand and will go in between trees. She probably would prefer that it caught the bunker. Just have to wait and see what the reverse angle reveals to us. Just waltzes that one in, Hong Jung-min. She is now officially doubled up her point total from yesterday. Starts it well. It's always going to be a tough one. And Jung on the long way back. Close, but no dividends on that one. Genie for birdie. Narrow the gap to 4 points inside of an eagle or 2 birdies away. Uphill, a little left to right. Starts it to the inside, and it costs her a couple of points. She'll quickly want to walk off this one. Frustrating day at the office, no doubt about it. Now we meet Zhang. Rolls in a short par. Lee Jumi from pretty much the middle of the fairway. Lands with a thud about pin high. It's about 3.5, 4 meters between she and one final birdie. Dances around the perimeter of the green. It's on, but nowhere near where she would have wanted to be. It's a disappointing one for Lee Young. She trails Park Young by 2 birdies at this point. It's 9 iron. It's going to drop nearly 2 meters just into the cut of grass between fairway and rough. Comes within a few centimeters and rolls about 6 feet beyond. Is a hybrid for Amy Jung here at 16. Heading slightly left. If it stops anywhere around here, it'll be okay, but the misses to the left are making you navigate that little, not quite a knoll, more of a hump in the middle where it goes just up and then back down. Makes the weight control all that much more tricky. That was absolutely crushed. Not nearly enough loft on it. Heads towards the cart path at the back. It is Kimi G still struggling to put some birdies together, but that's how good she was yesterday. That only having picked up 2 points has her still in a tie for 4th. The lead at the top for Park Young is at 3 on the 14th hole. Im Genie starting to slowly slip away down in a tie for 6th. Well, this is the detailed look at the LFSC's point standings. As you can see, the gap at the top is starting to shrink. It is definitely tight from 2 through 5. Only 635 points separating those competitors. Isomi, Im Hee-jung, they occupy spots 7 and 8. Jun Yunji and Jae Reem both climbing 2 spots after last week to get closer to that automatic qualification zone. Beautiful day here at the Iksan Country Club. Mother Nature certainly doing her fair share and providing a lovely theater, a great stage to this 26th event of 32 on the season. The weather at the moment, it is 23 degrees, steady wind 2.4 meters per second. This will really be the last day that we have this full, wide open blue sky canopy. The clouds will roll in for the weekend. It's Kim Hee-ji. It's a good touch to get back down. On the other side of that coin is too much pace for Lee So-young. She goes towards the fringe. Oh, Park Young, she was online. Just stopped short. No birdie to be had here, so she'll tap in for the par. Down to just 4 holes in this second round. She'll have one more par 4 before going 3, 5, and 4 on the way in. EA1 again losing the trailing hand, but it shouldn't cost her much, if anything. Still into the fairway. And with that overhit shot, she needs to be careful not to drop. The pars aren't always the flashiest, but they are just as important. Kim Hee-ji, her tap-in par is there as well. Here's the lay of the land at 17, this final par 5. The tee shot cutting across to the right side of the fairway. 222 is all that remains, and this is fairway wood territory. Kim Yoo-bin is going to try and reach. As we see her for the first time today, that means something notable is happening, good or bad. I think it's going to be likely the former. It is definitely going to be the former. Wow. That is even more impressive than Jun Yunji yesterday. That is a couple of feet away from an albatross, which would have been +8, and she would have been just one back of the lead. She should still have the eagle, and even that would take her above Isomi in and around the podiums. Isomi, that's a big bounce and almost all the way to the camera stand at the back. This is one of the shorter birdie putts Im Hee-jung has had in the past 90 minutes or so. Looks like it's going to dive to the outside. It does just that. Kicks away on her early. More pars to be had. Still at 6 points, just an aggregate 3 birdies through 16 holes. Again, Ye-won rocking on those heels, getting set up. She's going to stay off the fringe and return to her pin-seeking prowess. Let's see how Yunji can follow suit here. It's 140 meters to go. It's pin high, definitely will be able to putt that. Won't rule her out of a birdie just yet. Remarkably for Lee Ga-young, she's nearing a decade that she's been competing in events, still yet to win one. She's come oh so close this year, twice the runner-up, including the Chris FNC 44th KLPGA Championship and the 8th Kyochun Honey Ladies Open. Park Young knows a thing or two about winning the KLPGA Championship, a 2-time major winner. Actually bounces backwards, but more bounces to the left. Deceptive camera angle. That works out just fine. So me going to use a fair bit of this fringe to get it online. Now it starts down. She probably could have taken a little bit more, to be honest. Just a little bit, even a foot or so additionally, and she might have been able to hit the flag. I think she'll take that. This would take Ye-won to 23 points. Up she goes. One back as she is through the 15th hole now. It's a great approach and an equally nice birdie. Today, 3 holes in a row without a birdie is her longest stretch, 8, 9, and 10. She's done it twice, including the first, the second, and a bogey at the third, her only one of the day. Now Isumi starting this the hour left of the hole, knowing it's just going to slide over. At least she thought it was going to slide. Might have been able to with a little less speed on it. Disheartening feeling when it should be your final shot of the day. So it drops her out of 5th. Back level with Kim Soo-ji on 17 points. Bae So-hyun and Im Jini also at that score. Zisomi goes 8 in round 1 and 9 in round 2. Smooths out the line and taps in. Birdie and an eagle in the last 2 holes, and all of a sudden, Kim Yoo-bin goes fourth. One more look at that setup shot. Just fades so eloquently. Kicks off the fairway, straightens out. And that, for my money, is the shot of the day. Probably the shot of the first 2 rounds. The beauty of Stableford. Rewarded for being aggressive. Nice pickup of 5. That's actually the first eagle we've seen all day, considering we saw 4 or 5 yesterday. This particular effort is pulled and stays to the inside. 64 players at the minute are at 7 points or higher. That is our projected cut line. Nearly able to complete a near miraculous birdie. It's a long distance to travel. It will just be par at 16. Needs this to avoid dropping out of the top 10. It's about a 4-footer. Able to avoid it. She's already had 2 bogeys today. Now she has 4 straight pars, but more of a concern for her will be the fact that she's gone 7 holes without a birdie. Jung, it's only 3 birdies still on the day. Picks up all kinds of speed as that lurches high in the air and will settle beside her group mate off the back. Two birdies in round 1 at 3 and 6. But she would have 6 birdies yesterday. She's only on pace to have that. Park Young at 15, 5 iron, heading to the wrong side of the green. Short and well wide. It's more like it from Jun Yunji. It's just unfortunate we haven't seen nearly enough of that today. Only 1 birdie all day long. That was at 12. ENG can say the same thing. The difference between their scorecards is that there's no bogeys. Short again, however. Well, as we near 4 p.m. local time. The top three really beginning to pull away. 3 strokes separates Pak Yang and Lee Gae-young, with EA1 just 1 back, with 11 points collected on the day thus far in this second round of the 2022 Dongbu Construction KOREIT Championship. We are live from the Iksan Country Club. Well, as you just saw, two of the three statistical leaders are in contention at this 26th event. EA1, the rookie, closer than Kim Suji, who really and drastically turned things around today. Young 17th on the money list, 14th in the points. She is chasing down Park Young, who she has pipped in both of those stats. EA1 dominating the two of them, relatively speaking. 17 meters from off the green for the leader. Inching ever closer and closer and closer to about 2 feet shy. Oh, you mean Jung also from off the green this time, though from the back of it instead of left. It's heading left. Does it want to come back? Oh, it starts to. It's about as impressive as you can get without actually holing out. Would have been an eagle, would have been something special. Up into the top 3 she would have gone, but she'll still take the points. Kim Hee-ji, just a little soft touch. The way she met that fringe kind of threw it offline. She goes over the sand. Kim Yubin. Not quite as dramatic as the last hole was. Now Jun Yunji. Can she find her second birdie? No. Squats down, hoping a bit of a prayer that it would line up at the last moment, but it is once again offline. Now Genie on the par 3. Right to left it goes, and finally down. That'll be a relieving sound. Her first birdie since the 7th hole. So up to 19 points she goes, and a tie for 4th. Now only down 3 spots from where she, got the, looking at the wrong sheet. Still 19 that she goes, but it is now level to where she had been to start the day. So we go to 17 with Lee Gae-young from the left side of this fairway. She's a little bit indecisive, gets a good skip, and will settle in the fairway between the 2 greens. EA1 missing by millimeters. That would have been for the lead. Instead, she'll have to settle for a par. Still a brilliant day. Think she'll have at least one more birdie in her, which would surpass what she had done yesterday. That will not be the case today for Kim Hee-ji. Is to save a par. Glances it off the flag. She was the third place rookie a season ago. Jun Yunji keeps herself in a tie for 11th. She's down 9 spots cumulatively for the day. And Park Hyung rolls it in as well. One of each, all that remains, including the final par 3 of the day. This is how it looks from the teeing ground. Looking between the two cart paths and the trees that line the perimeter before the water and the back of the green as well. The hallmark hole here over the sand and up on towards the left side. Best case scenario, you are just on that stretch of fairway. That way when you bounce up, you're taking most of the speed off of it, but that is not a very large target to try and pick out. It is 8 iron for Park Hyung. This is immediately glancing left. Arrow bottom left showing you you're teeing off right, basically going over that island green, that same water hazard into the fairway. From there, anything really inside of 230 meters and it's game on. It is the second longest hole on course, surpassed only by the 6th. It's the 14th longest driver. And the accuracy down outside of the top 50. She reaches over the water and heads into the trees. I think that might be immediately in front of her. I'll take eagle off the table. It might even make birdie a touch more complicated. He won the 8th most accurate, 76.15% regulation. She averages 220 off the tee. Able to find and stay in relatively wide first fairway over the water. This is where they're playing to. Lee Young's effort from the fringe, 16 meters out. Carries it about 5 yards onto the green and gets it nice and close. Beautiful broken cloud layer starting to paint the skyline as we update the leaderboard. Still no changes in the top three. Kim Yoo-bin, Im Ji-ni tied at plus 19. Then Imi Jung, Kim Hee-ji at plus 18. Kim Soo-ji, Bae So-hyun.
돌아.
Apologies for the momentary loss of commentary, but we're back, and so is Park Young-kyung. Not quite all the way there first time through, and now 17, Lee Ga-young. Just a short one. So her par as well, and that will carry everyone's score one hole closer to the finish line. And now this is where things get a little bit interesting for Im Ji-ni. Still 216 to go with that tree directly in front of her. She has to lay up into the fairway. Now Kim Yoo-bin, this is over at 18. She couldn't catch the top three, but she could definitely get closer. Take her to 21 points. Needs to start to hang a left. It does that. Doesn't have the speed to go with it, however. Well, the Eagle definitely had her leap up the leaderboard, as was the case for Jun Yunji yesterday. OEA1 second. 217 to go. She'd need a little bit of help with the wind and a good bounce to get there in two. Doesn't quite have the yardage as you'd expect with someone who's you wouldn't classify a power hitter. Makes up for it though with her accuracy. Just a little flop shot to try and set up a birdie. But it is up 9 spots for Kim Yoo-bin today. Started poorly. She'd tell you as much. Bogeys at 1 and 3. Her first birdie came at the 8th. Would have 3 more, 11, 12, and 16. Another bogey at 14, but that eagle at 17 with the big boost. And she finishes at 19 points through 36 holes of play. She is able to get up onto the green. Now Park Young. Big blast over the water. Bounces twice. Rolls down ever closer. You know she's going to try and reach in two. She definitely has the power in her arsenal. Jun Yunji, she's averaging 223 off the tee. Can she replicate any of her eagle magic from yesterday? This is Jung, and she's going to get a lovely roll. She has been steady all day long. Hasn't quite had the birdies to accompany the great shot making she's had. And now EA1, this is her third. Her ability to manipulate the ball with the backspin is simply exquisite. I think there is hardly a situation where she's not able to see that roll down for her birdie. And should she get there, she would head to the 18th tee in sole possession of the lead. Yiga Young trying to get to plus 25 as well. She needs a birdie at the last here. Off to a tricky start as that pops up into the rough. You look at her scorecard from yesterday, and it was just a par here. As we return to the 17th, this is an 8.2 meter look to pick up some points for ENG, but that stays straight all the way down. She has this and she finishes at 20 points. Be sole possession of fourth. Should be a little right to left on it. She's got it. It's a fantastic way to finish the day. She equals the score she had in round one. She was absolutely brilliant today. Steady as it gets. 5 total birdies. And is within just 4 points for the time being. That will likely change in the final couple of holes for our featured groups with EA1 and Pak Young still out there. And this 3-footer, no issues for ENG, but it is just a par. This is for the lead. Less than a meter away. You can call it a bit of right to left, but that's basically a tap in. And she does reach 25, the first player to get there. And we'll have an opportunity to pad to it on her 36th hole of this event. Now, realistically, birdie is required here to have any chance at being atop the leaderboard by day's end, but I think she's compounded a mistake with another mistake. And yes, that is the unfortunate confirmation, as that is got bunker written all over it. Trip to the sand was not what she had in mind. And now we just fasten our seatbelts and get ready for the ride with Pak Young. $224. I don't know that I trust that telemetry, and that would be why. I think she's going to stop just before the sand. You could tell that it was going to be a little bit tougher, as that was hybrid and not 5-wood. That came awfully close to joining Pak Young in that bunker. Might have been 3 feet clear at the most for Kim Hee-ji. She stays in the rough. Nice save from the caddy. The player whose name is on the bag doesn't see you almost drop the bag. Did you really almost drop the bag? Jun Yunji. There's where the movement comes in. Well, she has no problem reaching yet again. Problem is she's got too much power, as that's gone up the back of the fringe. So the green remains wide open. All about the setup shots next. Here's Ziga Young digging in. To be honest, it almost helps a little bit being able to drive into the slope. You know you're going to get enough underneath the ball. It's not a gimme for birdie still, as we see EA1's final tee shot. It's just a par yesterday. Par today would likely be enough to at least have a share of the lead. And of course, all depends on how Pak Young manages her trap. She has the slimmest of margins, not even a birdie to keep her safe up there with Pak Young still with 2 holes to play. But plus 13 today is a fantastic round. However it ends, EA1 once again treating the wily old vets to a lesson from the rookie. More from the Iksan Country Club after this short pause. Well, at this rate, EA1 will be making even more of a move up this LFASI's point standings. Might just start to see Bung Minji creep her way in as well. Her issue this year has been consistency. Yiga Young has definitely had her moments, twice a runner-up. Never the champ, both this season and in general. She will absolutely have something to say about that this weekend. It's just a matter of how close she'll be able to get. Park Young, by the way, is in 14th in the LFASI's point standings. Less than 1,000 points back of 8th. Here is her effort out of the sand. Nearly was able to roll out of it. She gets up well. Oh, the touch from the beach is brilliant. Birdie still on the cards. She definitely had no plans of dropping a shot at the last, but assuming she can make it, she too will be matching her first round performance of 11 points like Imi Jung, who is 2 points back of her. It's her only bogey of the entire day. 6 birdies as well, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 17. She exits the course in sole possession of 3rd. Back to 17, also short of the green was Kim Hee-ji. He could desperately use this birdie. Well, she was the leader after one. This would be just her second birdie of the day. It would be her second last hole of the day after birdieing her second hole of the day. Not the symmetry she would have liked. Now EA1's approach shot. Does she have one last bit of magic for us on this Friday? Buck 21. Well, again, rolls online. The wind helps her, but it is short enough that you don't feel like it's an automatic one. Now Jun Yunji from the other side of the green. Needs to roll this pretty quick. It's going to have the speed. Tell me she has another eagle. Oh, wow. Tip of the cap to acknowledge the crowd. She was that close. Just a couple of feet away. That's the irony. Had that fallen, she would have been once again up into 4th with a big swing on 17. She also has her second birdie. She goes to 18 in a tie with her groupmate Kim Hee-ji, at least for a few seconds. Now Imjini playing 9-iron. She went right of the fairway, this out of the rough. She's going to get a nice little kick over as well. That's a brilliant golf shot. Tremendously executed. Back to 17. Some movement on this putt, make no mistake. Got in her head a little bit. She won't be able to catch EA1. That might be a definitive statement as well, especially if EA1 has her birdie over at 18. The gap would be 3. The hybrid that finds the sand might have cost her a chance at the outright lead. It's the same line from just a few feet closer. And tied for 4th. That'll be a big exhale. The relief written all over her face. Finally has another circle on that scorecard. Speaking of 18, we've seen a few people play it, but let's give you the full and proper tour. teeing ground and a hallway between trees on either side. Nothing too fancy. Slight dogleg right. Just shape it around. Anywhere in between 135 to 90 meters remaining. That's about the average in-play point from off the tee. And then you have the two sand traps, one to split the greens, the pot bunker to the left side. And the pin placement today, it is 5 yards from the left, 12 yards from the back. There you see its icon with the downslope. If you are a little bit short, don't mind being a touch longer. This was one of the two eagles for Kim Hee-ji yesterday. She goes around the corner. A little bit of extra panache. Jun Yunji had an almost identical drive. That leaves Park Young-kyung. She did birdie here yesterday. That'll give her some confidence. Not quite as dramatic, but is going to just stop in the fairway. Uses the left side on that slight cut. EA1, can she have one more? This looks promising. Yes, she can. Dialed in all day long. 5 birdies on the back nine, 3 on the front. She posts a score of 15 in this second round. That is just 1 back of what Kim Hee-ji had done yesterday. Same as what Bae So-yeon did today. And the rookie. Can anyone keep up with her this weekend? We'll see her in this final group again tomorrow. And a far quieter day than Im Jinhee would have liked. Can still get herself up to 4th with a make here. Aim to the inside of the hole. Fades on over, and she does have a bird. 5 of them on the day, 2 bogeys. She finishes with 8 points in this second round. Park Young is in no danger of losing second position. Unless she were to double bogey, which seems nearly impossible. And birdie would put the pressure on right from the hop tomorrow. $134 meters to go. Needs to get up 4.5. She's chosen the 7. Straight with that little action at the end. Could have maybe gone for a 6. That's a bit shallow. She got a healthy divot with it too, and you wonder if there was just enough of that second cut to prevent as pure of contact as it could have been. Jun Yunji, 113. Heads left, and the slope will keep it right there. 112. Last approach shot of the entire day. The deepest of the lot. And the long walk up towards the clubhouse. Three very different emotions right now. Have Jun Yunji, who feels stymied. Shoots a 15 in the opener, just could not approach with the same veracity, nor could she make up for some shorter than ideal wedge and high iron shots. Kim-Hee, who's only been able to make 2 birdies all day. Park Young, who's probably somewhere in the back of her mind wondering what could have been if not for that bunker shot at the last. She will still feel the best of the 3, being so close to the lead. It's not an insignificant shot, especially if this was 24 hours from now and we were finishing up the 3rd round. A one birdie, turnaround is a whole lot more encouraging than needing 2 or some help. Shall have one last check of that notebook, see if there's any secrets in store filed away, making sure it matches the eye test as well. Ball's cleaned up, and now you have the, how are you seeing it? Making sure they're on the same page. Kim-Hee will go first. That's the furthest away. Just picking out her break point. Going to start this as if she was aiming for the fringe. Almost draw a straight line to the edge of that last thin shadow before the lighter patch. It's 9.7 meters out. Downhill as well. Didn't put that at all where I expected it to be. That's why she's the professional, because mine would still probably be on the fringe. It's only a 5% likelihood of a birdie from that yardage, and not a gimme either for this par. Five birdies, 11 pars, 1 bogey in this second round. The bogey might be the difference even. It would be the difference even if this were to go. Starting uphill, 9.5 meters out. Gonna brush to the inside. Formidable try, but no dice. So it is 9 points on the day, 3 back at the midway mark of the tournament. Could not convert on any birdies in the final 5 holes. There's a wry smile in there. Still so much golf to be played. Especially yesterday, she showed us that she still has that lethal winners mode that she can tap into. Jun Yunji finished for a tie for 5th with a make. Overhit. Not enough on the approach and too much on the putt. You know, she'd love a redo. Can only imagine how emotionally taxing it was last week. She finished about 3 groups before Peng Minji at the major. That blue hair, and just had to keep herself as mentally engaged, as physically loose as she could. Eventually she needed the playoff. Didn't think she'd need it with Peng Minji having 2 chances. It's going to be a physical and emotional toll. One of the reasons why Peng Minji's taking the week off, I'm sure, just to recover, regroup. Kim Yunji has pulled it. She might still be as far away as she was just a few seconds ago, but on the other side of the hole. She's saying, I'll finish up, don't worry. Somebody's got to come and get that flag, though. She decides she wants it in. But she is not at all comfortable with this. You can tell in the body language. She escapes with just the bogey. Disappointing end to the round. 16 yesterday. She was our leader. And by day's end, can only pick up 3 points. That is a tie for 6th position with Kim Yubin. Well, we started with 108. Hyun Se-rin withdrew from the event, and we have 42 players that are going to miss the cut. Course belongs to Jun Yunji for her par. A identical score to her groupmate. +3 to finish. That is sole possession of 8th, down 6 spots from where she had started the day. We will see Bak Young in the featured group tomorrow with EA1 and Lee Ga-young. Kim Yunji and Jun Yunji will be grouped together once again tomorrow as we go through the second round highlights before we say goodbye for the day. And we will begin on the first hole. Seems like a good place to start. Bak Young with the birdie. It would be just 1 of 2 birdies for her on that opening 9. 7 would be next, and it would be the end of 3 birdies in a row for Lee Ga-young. The most dramatic one. A little flare as it does the full revolution of the hole before dropping for her. She'd take a birdie break at 8 and be back to it at 9. EA1 also with their 3rd, but this time final birdie on the East Course. Up to 17 points at that mark. on the par 4. Park Young over the trees to the right green she goes. Gets it to bite, settle on line. And a putt for the outright lead, and she knocks it down. She would go out in 34 strokes as we go to 9. Bit of trouble for Iga Young, at least you would think, but alas, 9-iron in the sand, yeah, no problem. That's about 3 meters, even less than that, 2.7. Less than 2/3 of the time these would drop. She'd boost that number a little bit more as she would move into a tie for the lead. We would go to 7. Kim Soo-ji, who started on the back 9 today, would pick up 3 birdies through her first 9 holes. This would be her final of 7 on the day, a bogey-free round. She would go on to par 8 and 9 to finish at 17 points and a tie for 9th. Then after quite the substantial delay, bit of a lineup at the 10th tee, Park Young would go from the rough, get it within a couple of feet, that little right to left break, one of very few birdies at the 10th. It was a good way to start her back 9. And significantly more birdies found at 11 than at 10. This is EA1's setup shot. And the curl was something to behold, just as the putt was. Her first of what would be 5 birdies on the way in. She was absolutely engaged. Nobody had more birdies in this West course than EA1. At least to start, Park Young looked like she was going to match her shot for shot. Her setup at 11. Another 3-footer. Back to back. Out of the turn, 22 points. She was building upon that lead. But the birdie well would dry up. Not the case for EA1. This her approach shot, almost in the exact middle of the fairway. Clean look at it. Kisses the fringe and stops within maybe 15 centimeters. It was that close. Just a formality as she knocks it in to move to plus 21. And then 13. Minji had, it's not Minji, excuse me, Park Young had mastered just about every type of hole here at Iksan except for the short par 3s. Would finally have one here. And then an ironic twist of fate, it would be her final of the day, plus 24. A run of 5 birdies all the way to the clubhouse to round out the round. More from EA1 just through the fringe. And a beeline to the bottom of the hole. Plus 23. At that point, she was just 1 back. And then for me, the shot of the day at 17. Kim Yoo-bin from the right side of the fairway. Sends it skyward, and then here it comes back to the right twice through the fairway, right on and close, and then just stops up in the perfect position. The only eagle carded in round 2. Up to plus 19 she would go. Plus 19 is where she would stay after a par at the last. This was EA1. From about where Kim Yoo-bin had landed it the first time before rolling on. Just goes short, plays it slow and steady, picking up points left and right. Plus 25. At that point, the lead was hers. But with her final shot of the day, she would put herself an eagle or 2 birdies clear of the rest of the field. A little sass on that at the end. Unbelievable round of 8 birdies, just the 1 bogey at the 3rd. And she has the outright lead by 3 strokes at the end of 36 holes. This is how things shake up. EA1 up 4 spots. Yiga Young up 3. Kim Yoo-bin, after that birdie, climbs 7. Kim Hee-ji drops 5. Jun Yunji down 6. Kim Soo-ji up 49 and just beneath her, tied at the end of the day, plus 15 as well for Pei So-yeon, who climbs 59 positions. Kim Chae-hee, a great day as well. After just picking up 2 points yesterday, she grabs 14 in round 2, up 56 positions in a tie for 12th. Then we have the Loam and Yeonju at plus 13, with the likes of Yoo Hae-ran and Chae Ga-ram in a tie for 26th position. Kim Se-ro-mi, Kim Ji-hyun, the final 2 players at plus 12. Kim Ji-soo, Na Hee-yeon amongst those at 11. Kim Ji-young 2. Kim Ae-rim, Oh Ji-hyun, Lee Jae-young, and another rookie, Mata Som, all at plus 10. And we have Ha-min Sung, Jung Ji-min, Park Yo-jin, Chae-rim, Chan Oh-ri, another rookie, Moon Jung-min at plus 9. Things start to slightly fall down from here. Park Do-young picked up 8 points today when she was perfectly even yesterday. That's enough to just make the cut, and a heartbreaker for the likes of Park Chae-eun and Kim Se-eun, who dropped to finish beneath the cut line. They will not be joining us this weekend. We hope you will, though. You are more than welcome. The invitation is open. Bring your friends along too. I'll give you a +1. Same start time tomorrow, 2 p.m. local time, back at Eagsun for Moving Day at this second ever playing of this very exciting event. On behalf of our entire SBS Golf and Spot Crews, I've been Adam Jenkins saying so long from my studios in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We will see you tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. We'll see you back here very, very shortly. The 2022 Dongbu Construction KOREIT Championship. Goodbye and good night for now.